I don't want to talk about it.
I have to talk about it.
But I have to talk about it.
But I wish I didn't have to talk about it. Because at any given time,
pretty much all the time,
the color of my skin
the color of my skin
can evoke a response
that
can make me a target
that can give me access
of profiling,
to jobs,
of discrimination,
to schooling,
of murder,
to safety.
I may be seen as a pariah.
I will likely be seen as normal.
So I have to talk about it.
So we have to talk about
To
it.
save our lives.
To save our souls.
Because Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
And we talk about this now.
Because when Black lives truly matter, we will have true racial justice.
And not just Black men's lives.
But for all groups who are currently and have historically been marginalized, this is a global issue.
A human issue.
A human rights issue.
Because women
and queer folks
and women and queer folks of color
and indigenous people fighting for clean water
and people displaced by relentless wars all across the world,
any sort of disability or difference,
and people who live barely above the poverty line,
and too many more people to name here,
are targeted by our systems
or oppressed by our systems.
It starts at home,
in our homes,
in our places of worship,
in our schools,
in our media,
in our economic system,
in our government system,
in our legal system,
for example.
And this is just a small slice of the whole.
In and of itself, it's huge.
And did you know that in the United States today,
a country that only holds about 5% of the world's population,
that we have 25% of the world's imprisoned population?
1/4 of all the prisoners in the world.
And about 38% of those people are Black.
Even though we're only about 13% of the US population.
1 in every 15 African American men are incarcerated.
As compared to about 1 in every 106 white men. Even though the crime rates are pretty much even.
Do you know that prisons are filled with more Black men today
than were enslaved at any other point in US history?
Essentially creating a new form of slavery because the 13th Amendment
allows for slavery or involuntary servitude to be a form of punishment.
Thus creating what Michelle Alexander calls the new Jim Crow.
And massive profits
for white corporate executives
who invest in so many aspects of the prison industrial complex.
We still have slavery today.
We just call it something different.
You know, a white friend of mine and I were talking.
A friend of mine were talking.
And he asked me what we, white people, can do.
And he asked what we, Black people, can do.
And I told him to listen.
I told him to speak. Speak our truth.
I said, listen to truth and then speak it to other white people.
And love yourself.
And love yourself and be willing to look at yourself.
And be self-reflective.
And talk about race and systems and white privilege every chance you get.
And practice self and community care.
And make chances, because it's not like a lot of white people are talking about this anyway.
It's not just about Black and white.
Race is complicated.
Yet at any time,
pretty much all the time,
the color of my skin,
the color of our skin,
can evoke a response
that
makes me a target,
that can give me access
for profiling,
to jobs,
discrimination,
to schooling,
of murder,
to safety.
So we have to talk about it.
So we have to talk about it.
To save our lives.
Because Black lives matter.
Because our lives matter.